Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I thought we would continue and do part 2 of our Hunkydory Partytime card collection. Trying to see how many cards we can make from this. If you've missed part 1, please do head over to my channel. I picked out one of the top sheets, the 2 matching card stocks, and we managed to make 6 cards out of that one. So I'm going to grab the top one, which is a Slice of Fun card topper kit. And then I'm going to try and get the matching card stock. So you tend to find with Hunkydory, you get one which is a foiled one that matches. So this one's got the foiled dots on, and then you have one that is generally unfoiled. I'm just trying to see which one is probably the fit. So hold on. Process of elimination with this one. So I think that one will fit that set. And then this is probably the other one that I'm after, actually. That is the balloon. And these two, I'm guessing, will go with that sheet. There we go. So now they're ready for part 3 and part 4. Or at least definitely a part 3. So let me pop these ones away and we'll take a look at this one. Now, one of the reasons why I am doing this is because I need to start using up some of my kits, some of my collections, some of my products, and I need to get lots of cards made up with them. I have got an order, though. Yeah, so I'm recording this on Monday, because my little boy's stopping out with his grandma and granddad, so I thought I would get a few videos made up where I can. But I bought yesterday, so Sunday, some of the Hunkydory goodie boxes. They've got them back in stock. Oh my god, I can't not buy them. I absolutely love them. I bought some at Christmas, some of their Christmas ones, and I thought they were fantastic. They've got their sort of everyday ones come out, so I bought some of those. And I know I'm going to just be filling up my craft room. So I want to get some of these pre-made. And this was just a kit that I had from Hunkydory earlier in the year that I want to grab and use up. So on this one, we have 4 toppers. So I am going to be making 4 cards with this one. We have 3 sentiments on here, and I may grab my kit out a little bit later. I do know that on one of the other kit sheets there's more sentiments than toppers, so I may pinch one from there, or I just may use a sentiment that I've got in my sentiment box. Looking at these sizes, that's definitely going to be a 5x7 card, so we'll grab a 5x7 card blank out for that one just there. Then this is a beautiful little small one that I think will actually go quite nicely on a little 4x4 card. Yeah, so we're going to grab a 4x4 card blank out for that one. Then I am thinking a 5x5 for this one, and to be fair, looking at it now, it does have its party time sentiment, so I may not bother with one. I'm not 100% sure, but that'll fit nicely on that one, so we'll go for that there. Oops. And then my last one, I think actually might fit nicely on a DL size card. Yeah, we're going to go for a DL card for that one. So those are my card blanks that we're going to be working with. We're going to start off with this larger card here first of all. So I'm going to take my card blank. And I'm going to use the matching card here. I think I do want a little white border, to be fair. Do I? Now, tell you what, we're actually going to stick this straight down and do a full card. So let me grab my double-sided tape just here, and we'll line this card base. Tell you what, cutting it looks nicer, but I find it so much easier to try and get the top off when I've ripped it. So, rid of all of that. Make sure your card base is the right way if you're using a directional print, which we are. I'm going to get that lined up across that folded edge. There we go. I'm going to press that down and then I'm going to trim around this. And I'm using that card blank as my guide. Obviously, if you don't want to use card blanks, you don't have to. You can just fold these A4 sheets of card in half and make yourself some card blanks that way. And it's one thing that I do like about Hunkydory. If you haven't had one of their kits before, they will tell you on the front like a minimum that they think you will make out of this kit. So for this one, there was 8 sheets of cardstock, so the minimum would have been 8 cards. I know that you can use a lot more than that. You can make a lot more than that, especially if you are using card blanks like I do, because you're only going to use enough to cover your front panel, depending on how big your card blank is. So it's definitely one of my preferred ways. So we have this gorgeous topper that I'm going to sit just there. And I'm going to decoupage that one up. I'm going to layer that up. And then we have the beautiful sentiment, enjoy your very special day. So I always give these a little bit of a trim. Just give it a little bit of a snip. Snip, snip. There we go. I'm going to grab my foam tape. I have quite a large roll of it. I had this from Amazon. Must admit, at first when I picked it up, I wasn't sure if I liked it, but I do now. It's quite thin. It's not a very deep decoupage tape, which I think is why I was a little bit unsure with it, but the more I use it, the more I actually quite like the fact it's not too thick. That is my topper ready. So I'm just going to stand my card up. I always find it easier to kind of level it a little bit this way. There we go. There we go. That's the first card. How quick and easy was that? So quick. I love it. Right, the next one we're going to do is I'm going to work my way across. So we're going to go for this DL card next. So let's take our half blank and we're going to fold that in half. Now with this one, I am going to put a white border around it, and I think I want to cut into this cardstock that way. Yeah, that should still allow me my 4x4 card blank. Where's it go? There we go. Yeah, that'll still fit a 4x4 card blank that direction. I think I'm actually going to make this into a shaker card, which I know I've already done 2 from this kit, but let's be honest, shaker cards are beautiful. I absolutely love my shaker cards. So let me bring in my cutter. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my card blank. I want to see what size this is. So we're looking just under 4. I need to bring that out by, is that 8 1/4? So 8 1/4 by just under 4, wasn't it? So I think if we come in about there, and then if we come in at roughly 8, that is going to fit beautifully on our card base. Push that down. Oh, it's quite hard putting this back in. So I am going to use some wet glue to attach this to that one because it's easier for this style of card. I am just using some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. It's become a new favourite. So I'm going to stick this on the front here. The nice thing about wet glue is you've got time to get it where you want it. So that is our card base. I'm just going to pop a little book on here just to weigh that down. You guys, anybody who's a regular here will have seen that quite a few times. It's very handy for sticking things down with. So I'm going to pull off my toppers that I want. There we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off these little notches on here again. That's that one. Then on this one we have an outer frame, an inner frame, and then your base image. I'm only going to use the outer frame and the image. So I'm going to use that one. And this inside image, all of those frames get put into a box because you never know when you might need one. There we go. So I'm going to lift that up a minute. And what I want to do is I want to see where I want this to be positioned. So I think that's going to sit quite nicely in that purple part there, roughly. With then this image here. So I want that roughly going in there somewhere. So again, I'm going to come in with my wet glue. There we go. And then put my book down, and we're going to start working on putting this frame together. Now, normally I would use some really skinny double-sided tape, but I have run out. Do not fret. I've got plenty of normal double-sided tape, so we will make this work. I think this is going to be too thick. Yeah. So annoyingly, I'm going to have to cut this down and then cut it in half. I have got some on order, it just hasn't arrived yet. Thought I'd got another roll and I can't find it. I'm sure you guys know what it's like when you're looking for something. So I'm going around the frame with the double-sided tape. This is so we can attach the acetate to this. Oh, it's stuck on my finger there. Right, get a new piece. This is the only problem. Oh goodness. There. Just need a little bit more. Luckily, I don't need too much of this. There we go. So, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some acetate. I don't use anything special. It's not any really expensive acetate. It's just some that I picked up from Amazon. It's okay. Very staticky, but I'll show you how to fix that. Thanks to lots of lovely tips from my fellow YouTubers who really helped me out when I first started making shaker cards. God, if anybody here watched some of my first ones, I was dreadful at it. Absolutely dreadful. I was so ready to give up. And then I got lots of really good, helpful tips from you guys, and it made such a difference. And now I know how to make them. I make them all the time. So I'm going to take off this bottom strip first, and then I'm going to line this up. There we go. I did that on some of my on some that I made earlier, and it made it so much easier to make sure it was in the right spot. So I think I'm going to do that more often. There we go. So that is that covered. Now, I'm going to go over it with, I've got an anti-static bag to start with. Though I don't find it does a lot. I don't know. Then in comes my tumble dry sheet. I'm using Lenore. You can use whatever you want. They just happen to be the ones I got from Amazon. I was impatient and I needed something to come quick. And I have Amazon Prime, so I got next day delivery on those. Then I'm going to take some foam strips. These ones are from Craftily, but you can use any brand you want. And you're going to go around it twice. Double layer. It's the only way I've managed to get this work. When I did just a single layer, didn't like it. Just wasn't deep enough. You need to make sure you cover every area. No gaps. Gaps lead to glitter and sequins escaping from your shaker card. You can buy like shaker domes as well, if you think that would be easier. They sit onto cards and they are, as they say, they're like a domed piece that they definitely give you a lot more room. You do find that they come in like a few different shapes, but I guess doing it this way, especially when you're using like a Hunkydory kit where you get the frame there, you know that that frame is going to fit perfectly for your picture. But definitely use what's available to you. There we go. Got a bit stuck. Cut off a teeny tiny strip like that. Pop that in there, and that just covers that little hole. So if you ever notice like that, it just doesn't quite cover it. Just cut a very tiny piece. You do not want any glitter anywhere, so pop those over there. I'm going to bring back my card because this should now be fairly dry. So my next job here is to pop in my shake pieces. Now I'm not going to go for too much. I'm only going to go for a couple of different ones. That's what I did yesterday, and I really liked it. So the colours we're playing on with this one are purples, greens, maybe some oranges. So I'm just going to pause the video, grab a few bits out, and we'll get filling. There we go. Right, so I haven't picked up too many pieces. I am just going to burnish this crease because this card is lifting up and down and it's annoying me now. Right, so as promised, I've not gone for too much stuff. So we have a bit of a green shake mix here. So we'll add just a little scoop of that one. What you want to make sure is that you put enough shake pieces in, because this is going to have to be able to shake around this entire card. And what you don't want is for there to be like nothing left. So this is like an orange shake mix. These have just got all different shapes. Lots of different bits and pieces in here. I've got a like lilac-y purple shaker mix. Just knocked half of that off, so I'll go in and grab a few more bits. Then I've gone for some of these circles again. I really like these. And because they're white and like iridescent-y and pretty, I think they match quite a lot of my cards. I've gone for a similar colour scheme in some lovely butterflies. And if anybody's wondering what all these white pieces are, they are actually pieces of cut up tumble dry sheet. God, I couldn't think of what that was then. So I get a lot of my shaker mixes, sequin mixes and that from Temu, and I do find that they have an awful lot of staticky. Now it could just be that they are staticky, but I do find that the Temu ones are terrible for it. And if I put that in the jars, it reduces some of the static in the shaker pieces. They get a bit in the way, but they do help. And then the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some small silver rhinestones in. That's going to help everything move. It's going to add a little bit of weight to it and just be beautiful. That's all I'm putting in this one. So final wipe down with my cloth, with my tumble dry sheet. I don't know what it's about that. I always forget what it's called. And then I'm going to take all of this backing off and we're going to stick this down. There we go. So I'm just going to stand up to try and line this up a little bit more. There we go. And then we have a free shaking shaker card. When they're all sort of down low, it's not too much at all. Absolutely beautiful. The colours match that card perfectly. And then we have our sentiment that I'm going to pop right down here at the bottom. I want as much of that focus as possible to be on the shaker piece. So let me grab this foam tape, so it's still got a little bit of dimension. Strip this along the back. This down here in this green section, I think. Just like so. And that's our shaker card for this one. I love that. So pretty. So pretty. Then let's grab that sheet again. And we're going to grab this small one and work on our little 4x4 card now. Here we go. So this is another beautiful little one. And I think I'm going to try and do something a bit different on this. Just because I think it will work. So what I'm actually going to do with this, I'm going to use both frames. I'm going to stick the bottom one down. And then I'm going to stick that one on top like so. And then this one I'm going to decoupage up into the middle. I think that will look really pretty. And it will just give a little bit of extra dimension to it. Even though it's only a little 4x4, they can still be just as beautiful. So let's take these little notches off. You don't have to do this, but it definitely just gives your card a slightly cleaner feel to it. What's that one? Apologies, my dog has just decided to come into the office. And then take the notches off this one as well. 1 second. Right, sorry about that. Where's my card blank? There's my card blank. So we've got the little notches off. Let's get this folded in half. Let's see. Ooh. I think that's going to work. Look at that. That was just the scrap piece of that one. That. Gotta try and find somewhere how hard to get that on now. That on there like so. Give a take. That on there. Lift it up. And then maybe I just put that across the top or bottom. I might just put that one across the bottom, yeah. Right, let's give this. This is the perfect way of using up your scraps, because what that now means is that I have this piece available to me and I've got an idea of what I want to do with that one. And so that will be the perfect size, to be honest, I think. So, pop some glue on here. I'm going to do this as a top fold card, I think. Quite like top fold cards, especially for the smaller ones. So, that is that stuck down. Like so. Then try and get this right. So we're going to go for this as the base frame. So I'm just going to stand that up so that I can put this on here like so. So that's that frame. I actually really like it against that blue as well. That's really pretty. Then we have this piece, which again I'm going to go in with wet glue again. Just going to take some of that off there. Where I went very much into the corner. I'm going to stand this up. And then this is where the wet glue is going to really be useful. Trying to make sure that that is as level as I can get it. And then I'm going to put that on top of there and just weigh that down, just while we put the rest of the card together. So I want this to have a little bit more dimension, so I'm going to actually use some of these strips that's thicker. And this is the beauty of having strips in different depths. You can obviously like use that one and just double it up, triple it up, whatever you need to do, but you're ultimately going to use more of it. Whereas if you have just lots with different depths on there, you can use them as you see fit. So that is our topper piece. And then this, I'm quite happy to have a lower dimension. So then I'm going to use this one. place them on there. So I'm going to stick this one down first. Only got one shot at this, so there we go. And then we have the sentiment, which I'm going to pop along the bottom. It's not level. I've been able to take that one off. Wasn't happy with my placement on that one, so let's try again. There we go, that's better. So that is the third card. So we've made 3 cards and we're going to head into the fourth. I am only going to be able to make 4 cards out of this because I've only got 4 toppers on this sheet, but it is still beautiful. So we are going to take this topper off the sheet. There we go. And it is actually bigger than I thought. How much of this? Oh yes, we've got a lot of this. Right. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to go 5x5. I'm going to go 6x6. So I'm going to pop this back in my 5x5 envelope, just so I know that is in there. And I want to grab a 6x6. Oh, a 6x6 white. Nope, a 6x6 craft. I'm going to use a 6x6 white card blank. So this is going to fit better, I think. We're going to go for one of my cut cards where I cut this down into sort of half to give it that little bit of difference to make it look nice. And I'm going to pop this on the inside. Normally what you, well, not normally, but what you could do with this is if you had the matching inserts, you could actually put one of the decorative inserts in there instead. And as long as it, well, yeah, as long as it's got a bit of decoration down the side, it'll be fine. I don't have any decorative inserts, but because this is cream, this can go on the inside and people can still write like who it's to and who it's from and that on this cream patch. So I think that's going to still work lovely. So let me bring back my cutter. Now these say 6x6. Let's have a look. That's 5 3/4 by about 5 3/4, which is kind of what I expected. These are never right at all. So we're going to chop down this front. So if we're at 5 3/4, I think if we cut the front down to 3, I think 3, slice it off. None of this goes to waste. This gets put on the side and I use them for like stamping or where I might need some white cardstock. So that's given me a panel on the front that is now 5 3/4 by 3. And then I have my 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 on the inside. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut this at 5 1/2, and I want colour on this front, so I want to cut this so that this is going to be my panel. So 5 1/2, and I'm going to come in at 2 3/4. So this panel is now going to sit nicely on here like so. My topper is then going to sit nicely about there, I think, like that. Okay, I'm then going to take this piece and I want to have think I want these candles and sprinkles as a preference as opposed to the foiled bit on the top, but you just do whatever you prefer. So, put it this way first. So I want, it's 5 3/4, so I'm going to come in at 5 1/2. And then 5 1/2. That should now sit beautifully in here, again with a gorgeous white border. So let's move this out of the way. And I've still got, like, that's a fairly decent sized piece, to be fair. That's not bad. These are a little bit more scrappy, but you know, you never know when they might come in, eh? So, and this is a super easy card to put together. So we're going to stick the base in first. Make sure it's the right way before you stick it down. There we go. Then I'm going to stick this one down. There we go. And then you take your topper, and I'm going to stick that on there. So I don't think I've gone around that, have I? Let me just take off these little notches. I noticed before I stuck it down. Now just remember, when you're applying your glue on this, you want to try and only apply it to roughly the area that's actually going to be stuck down. And then you're going to take your card and you're going to put that on there where you want it. I like to double check so there's no glue on the back. And then press that down. That just moved slightly. I think we're good. There we go. And there we go. So, for our second sheet of toppers, we had 4 toppers available to us, and we've made 4 gorgeous cards out of it. We have this, I don't know, guess half cut card. We have this beautiful little 4x4 card. We've got our DL sized shaker card, Let's Celebrate. And then we had the first cake card that we made as well. I'm absolutely loving this kit. I think it's such a gorgeous set. We've made 4 today. We made 6 in the past video, so we are so far up to 10 cards. 10 cards, guys, in one kit. I still have 2 more sheets of toppers and 4 more sheets of A4 cardstock to keep going with this. So what I want you to do in the comments down below, take a guess for me. We're roughly halfway through this kit. I will say that at least one of the sheets of toppers I've got only has maybe 2 or 3 toppers on there. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make as many cards as I have done. But how many cards do you think we are going to have made by the time I finish this? I'm determined to have this kit finished by the end of the month. I need to use my kits up, and this is going to be the first one that is going to be gone, hopefully. But we've got 10 so far. How many we're going to make? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We are getting ever closer. We are currently, at recording of this, I'm just a couple of subscribers short of 3,700. It may have surpassed that by the time I pop this up there. But it really does help us. If you're enjoying this, please do hit that subscribe button. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Bye for now.